I want to talk about a movie called 40 Acres. And the timing of this movie could not be kind of worse. It played in a sort of advanced screening on Juneteenth, which is in concept a holiday I actually kind of like. It's celebrating the end of
69.
slavery in America. It should be a very unifying thing, like the 4th of July. Hey, America did something great. Let's all celebrate together. And they did a special screening on June 19th of this film. It stars Danielle Deadwyler as the matriarch of a family that has survived sort of a global cataclysm, a biological cataclysm where most living things have died off, including plants. Humans are still around and limited farming. There was a second civil war, and this is basically what happens after the apocalypse. How do people survive? Well, they survive protecting farms. Farmland is the most precious thing that people have. And she is protecting with her family, daughters and older son. They're protecting a farm along with her husband, and they are all trained in weapons. And when they see people that try to take down the farm, they take them out. The unfortunate thing is the name of this movie implies something that is of a racial nature, and the movie is not like that at all.
You mean 40 Acres has nothing to do with 40 acres?
40 Acres and a Mule.
Yeah.
Right. Which we know that were, how the Civil War ended. Yeah. Slaves were given 40 acres. And
that never came.
Promise. That was a promise. Exactly. But that's the name of the movie. It really doesn't necessarily tie in, but it's about how does this family survive in a post-apocalypse, in a way, kind of like 28 years later, in the sense that it's not about like that zombie apocalypse. What happens decades later. The timing of it is all very vague. Mm-hmm. But I really like Danielle Deadwyler as an actress. She was nominated for Best Actress for Till, her performance in Till. The actor who plays her young son is really good. This guy, what's his name? I don't see where.
Are you talking about this movie, or are you talking about Till?
I'm talking about 40 Acres.
Okay.
So it's a really good cast. But it's not a zombie apocalypse. It's basically the boring parts of Walking Dead. It's how do you defeat the horrible human beings who survive an apocalypse and are only interested in farmland. So it really, I will say, I was lost on it until the third act. Has a really strong third act. It ends up being more of a thriller in the end, less science fiction, more thriller based on the situation and about how a family survives against gangs of marauders. You basically have to train your children in weaponry and various ways to kill people. And her character, Haley Freeman, the family is the Freemans. How do they survive? And there are other farms. They all communicate through ham radio, keeping in touch with what's happening with your farm. And I'll say that it's not a sci-fi movie. Ignore that. It's more of an action thriller that does have a decent third act payoff. I give it a bare recommend, probably a 5.5 out of 6. And I'll say that the director, this director, he has an eye. Director is RT. Mm-hmm. This is RT is the director's name.
So you're saying he should have directed Elio.
He should have directed Elio. Yeah. But Danielle Deadwyler, I really like. RT Thorne is the director. He did a great job. He has an eye. And the way they built this world, but it might as well be Walking Dead without the zombies, just the horrible human beings. So if you see this, I feel like what's going to hurt this movie, the title.
Yeah,
the title
100%.
is a turnoff. And this movie was also the mystery movie on Monday, and as soon as it came out on the what the movie was, people canceled. I saw a bunch
Wow.
of people cancel. The
Yeah.
movie was packed and then empty.
I
It's
mean, you're right. This title is such a politically motivated title, and if the
yes, and
movie
it
doesn't
doesn't need
address
to
it at
be.
all, yeah, I
It's
mean, the title will turn people off. This could have been the greatest movie ever, and that title would just keep people away.
And it is a very racially mixed cast. There's a lot of tension with Danielle Deadweiler's character. She's super paranoid about other people and teaches her young son, like, you can't trust anyone. We just kill people who come here. She trains her family, her daughters and her older son, to kill. We don't trust anyone. And that comes into question when the young son sees a girl swimming in a lake. When he goes on kind of an offshoot journey, he sees a young woman, very beautiful, swimming. And maybe we should trust other people, especially when they're hot. So that causes conflict between the mother and son, which turns up the drama. But so I liked it was too slow going, but the third act, I'd say, maybe I give it a 6 out of 10. The third act redeemed it for me because all that drama comes into play, and the third act is really intense. But imagine Walking Dead with no zombies after the apocalypse.
Well, this is an apocalyptic movie. You don't need zombies. It's just
Well,
the idea of factions being created when the world is, has been torn apart. And
yeah, and trying to survive, like, what do we do? And there are no animals. There are no animals in this movie. Only farming and limited what they can grow because there's a fungal like apocalypse that happens.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the setup. It's not really science fiction. It's putting them in a situation where now they have to fight to survive. And they do explain that Danielle Deadweiler's character has a military background. She was in the army that fought in this second Civil War. So it's a good film in spite of, I think, some of the worst marketing being marketed as science fiction. That's
and
not,
as a political thing.
and then it's very political with calling it 40 acres. They did a screening on Juneteenth. This movie doesn't open until July 25th, the same week that the Fantastic Four opens. So it's much better than the marketing says it is. And I recommend it, if only for the performance of Danielle Deadweiler. She doesn't get enough credit. So there you go.
I mean, 100%. I didn't see this movie solely based on the title.